This is a very interesting question, a typical question that you may come across in the exam, where if you do not do any pre-analysis, if you don't make any inferences after reading the question stem, then you may end up making a mistake. And I'm going to show you how you can solve this question very easily if you do your pre-analysis properly. Okay, so let's read the question first. In the question, it's given that P is equal to 4.A2B. So let's write that down first. P is equal to 4.A2B. Okay, and Q is equal to 5.BA3. Now we need to find out, is the product of P and Q after rounding them at the units digit. So we need to first of all round them at the units digit. Okay, once we round them at the units digit, we'll get some value. Now, is the product of these two value, when you multiply them, these two value, is the product less than 27 or not? Okay, that is what we need to find out. Now, before jumping into these statements, let's pause and think that if I round them at the units place, round them at the units digit, what does that mean? Now, see, this is the units place for P, right? 4. 4 is the units place. And if I want to round it at 4, what do I need to do? Well, if I want to round it at 4, I need to see what is the digit which is to the right of it, immediate right of it. Okay, and think in this way. Let's say if A is greater than equal to 5, okay, if A is greater than equal to 5, then in that case the value of P will become from 4 to 5, right? And obviously, since I'm rounding them off, the rest of the digits will become 0. So in short, we can say that P will become 5, as simple as that. Okay. And if A is less than 5, then if I round it at the units place, then P will remain 4. That means I'll not change the digit 4. Okay. And that's an important inference that you should be able to make. Now let's focus on Q. When I want to round off Q, I'll again look at B, right? In this case also, you can say it in this way, that if B is greater than equal to 5, okay, then that means I need to increase this by 1. That means Q will become 6. And if B is less than 5, then Q will remain 5 only. Okay, so I know after rounding them off at the units digit, what are the possible values of P and Q. So the best way is to write down all the cases one by one. Okay, so let's do it in this way. That will be really easy for you to understand what you need to do. So see, there are one cases when A is greater than equal to 5 and B is greater than equal to 5, right? When both of them are greater than equal to 5, A and B, then P is 5 and Q is 6 and you get 30. And notice that this is greater than 27. We need to find out whether the product is less than 27 or not. Okay. One case could be this is greater than 5, this is less than 5. So if this is greater than 5, A is greater than 5, P will be 5 and Q will be 5. So you're getting 25. This is less than 27. Okay. One case could be this is less than 5, but this is greater than equal to 5. In this case, if this is less than 5, P will be 4 and Q, since it is greater than equal to 5, it will be 6. But still the product is less than 27. And in the last case, when both of them are less than 5, that's the case that we haven't considered yet. This will be 4, this will be 5, and the product is 20. This is less than 27. So notice carefully that in 3 cases, you're getting less than 27. And there's just only one case, this case, when A and B, both of them are greater than equal to 5. Only in that case, it is greater than, the product is greater than 27. Now, what is the use of this pre-analysis? After doing this pre-analysis, we can be sure that if we figure out that any one of them, either A or B, if it is less than 5, if you can figure that out, if any one of them is less than 5, then that means the product will be less than 27. Okay, either one or both. Notice that if B is less than 5, A is greater than equal to 5 does not matter, the product is less. A is less than 5, B is greater than equal to 5 does not matter, it is less than 27. And if both of them are less than 5, then the product obviously is less than 27. Okay, only if you find a case when they are both greater than equal to 5, will you say that they are greater than, the product will be greater than 27. Okay, so I know what I need to look for when I'm analyzing these statements. Now let's analyze the first statement. First statement is the sum of P and Q after they are rounded to the hundreds place is 10.1. Okay, so they're rounded at the hundreds place. So let's write P first. P is 4.A to B. This is the tens place and this is the hundreds place. So if I'm rounding at this place, I'll see what B is. Okay, now I don't know what B is, but let's say if B is less than 5. Okay, I'll consider both the cases, but let's say B is less than 5. Then in that case, when I round it at the tens place, I'll get P as 4.A2. Okay, Q is 5.BA3. If I'm rounding at this point, I'll look at 3. 3 is less than 5, right? So that means Q after rounding off will be 5.BA. And notice this sum has been given as 10.1. 10.1 basically means 10.10. Okay. Now think about it. You have a 2 here. If after adding up you're getting a 0, what does that mean? It means that A is greater than 5, right? A is greater than 5 and the actual value of A is basically 8. Is this part clear? Okay, we can find out the exact value of B also if you want to, but just think about it. We have taken a scenario where B is less than 5. Okay, so if A is 8, okay, this is greater than 5, this is less than 5, so the product will be less than 27. We can be sure of that, right? It is this case, this one. A is greater than, A is 8 and B is less than 5. If you want to find out the exact value also, that is also very easy. See, if A is 8, let me replace this by 8. So you'll get 8 plus 2, 10. There's a carry over here. Okay, and A is 8. Now think about it, that you have 8 plus 1, 9. Okay, and you're adding B and you're getting 1 here. And obviously 4 plus 1 should be 9. Obviously there's a carry over here to get 10. So that means 8 plus 1 plus B must be equal to 11, right? Which means B must be equal to 2. So you can see everything satisfies. We assume B is less than 5, B is equal to 2, A is equal to 8, and we can say it is less than 27. Okay. Now let's take the case when B is greater than 5. When B is greater than 5, if we take this case, okay, then that means if I round it at the tens place, I'll get 4.A3. Okay. And here, see, 3 is already there. This is less than 5. So in this case, for when I'm rounding at the tens place, this will live in 5.BA only. But again, the sum has to be 1.10. So if I'm getting 3 plus A as 10, then that means A has to be 7. Okay. Now some of you may jump to the conclusion and think, hey, both of them are greater than 5. So we are getting contradictory answer. You might think like that, but make sure to check whether actually B is greater than 5 or not, whether this case is actually possible or not. Okay. So see, if you put A is equal to 7 here, you'll get 7 plus 3, 10, 1. This is 7. Okay, we know that's a carry over here to get a 10. So you can say 7 plus 1 plus B is equal to 11. Okay, and B is equal to 3. But that contradicts this, what we assume B is greater than 5, right? That means whatever case you take, B cannot be greater than 5. B has to be less than 5 only. This case is not possible. Our assumption is not matching. We assume B as 5, but we're getting B as 3. Since there's a mismatch, this case is not possible. The only case that is possible was the one we considered, where we took B as less than 5 and assumed P as 4.A2 and Q as 5.BA. So this is the actual case where we are getting A as 8 and B as 2. Okay, so I hope it's perfectly clear how you need to make your inferences. Here also some of you might, after doing all the hard work, may end up jumping to a conclusion and getting the incorrect answer. Okay, so statement 1 is definitely sufficient because we are seeing 1 is greater than 5, 1 is less than 5, and we can say that it is definitely less than 27. Okay, so our answer will be either A or D, so we can eliminate B, C, and E. Now let's look at the second statement. The second statement is A minus B is equal to 6. And let me scroll down a bit. I'll keep the inferences in front of you only. The statement is A minus B is equal to 6. Or you can write A is equal to B plus 6. Now let's think of the possible values of A and B if you want to think in this way. Notice that the constraint that you need to keep in mind is that A and B, they're all single digit integers, right? A and B cannot be a two-digit number. Otherwise, P is equal to um, P is equal to 4 point A to B will not make sense, or Q is equal to 5 point B A3 will not make sense. So A and B are single digit integers. Now let's put B as 1. If B is 1, then A can be 7. If B is 2, A will be 8. If B is 3, A will be 9. But can I go beyond that? Can I take B as 4? If I take B as 4, I'll get A 10, and that is not possible. So notice even this statement clearly tells us that hey, A is greater than 5 and B is less than 5. Since A is greater than 5, B is less than 5, once again we are falling in this category only. Okay, and we know that using this statement also we can say that the product will be less than 27. So statement 2 is also sufficient. Okay, so I hope it's clear how we approach this question and why the answer in this case will be option D. Some of you who do not do this pre-analysis might end up marking the answer as C. Some of you may think, okay, hey, there are two variables A and B. There are two statements which will help me get the value of A and B. So that could be one reason for some of you to mark the answer as C. Some of you may even mark the answer as B. Those of you do so will do it only because you did not do this pre-analysis that we did here, or you did not consider both the cases carefully. You just took B greater than 5, less than 5 and assumed that both of them will give contradictory answers. If you did these mistakes, make sure that you do not repeat these mistakes. Okay, and I hope you appreciate the importance of doing all this pre-analysis. It might take a little bit more time in the exam, but it will definitely ensure that you get the correct answer.